Hey coders, in this video, we're gonna answer the question of how do I make lives and how to make a game over screen, okay? And maybe even how to make like a blinking animation. Okay, so let's talk about, let's go ahead and use our moving obstacle with levels game that I already made in a previous video. If you remember this game, I taught you how to make rocks fall um, and how to make levels and whatnot. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how to make like lives and the game over screen. Okay. So let's first look at our code real quick again. We have score, we have levels, we have something to create a sprite, we have an obstacle, we have a control player function that controls what happens when we hit the arrow keys. We have something that shows up levels and scores. We have obstacles reset. So every time the obstacle hits the bottom or something, it resets it. Um, so if the obstacle hits the bottom, it'll reset uh, the obstacle. Um, if the obstacle collides with the player, we tell it what happens. Um, we have something to draw the background, three different colors. And we have our typical function to draw everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how to make lives. Okay, so a typical thing that happens when you play a game is that the number of lives you have is like a little, hearts or something on the upper screen. So let's go ahead and go to the animation tab and go find some of these things. So let's see if they give us something like hearts. Okay, let's go up to all and maybe we'll find something like hearts. Let's do something like heart. Nope, there's no hearts. Um, really? No heart? Okay, let's just use something to indicate hearts or lives. I don't know. Uh, hmm, cards. That might work. Uh, so let's go ahead and do one. Let's go ahead and just add a bunch of hearts. So 3, 2, 1. Let's do 3, 2, 1. That makes it easy. Now, obviously, you can just go ahead and use card heart 2 and 1. Let's do 3 lives, 2 lives, or 1 lives. Okay, so card heart. And of course, you can use whatever you want. I mean, whatever you feel like you want to use for your display of how many lives you have. So I'm just going to use these. Um, so let's go ahead and hit run here. And let's go ahead and make it somewhere up here in the right hand corner. So I have levels here. I can kind of give it a little bit less space and give myself a little more space here. I'm gonna do, it looks like I'm gonna do, let's see. So this is score plus level and a 10 by 40 box. Let's go ahead and put a plus sign here and add some space and do something like lives. Let's see how that looks now. So yeah, now I have lives here. So let's go ahead and make a sprite. So var, let's call it live sprite. And every sprite we need to use create sprite. And we're going to put it in the upper right hand corner. So that's what, just put our mouse over it. It's about 375. And just give it a little more space here. Something like that. Okay. And again, all the code that I'm going to be writing here is going to be put on our Google Doc, so you'll see it. Okay, so no problems there. Um, so let's go ahead and put this thing again. centered around 350, 30. Let's try that. So let's go 350, 30, semicolon, and let's see if we like the location of our box. Okay, that's fine. Um, let's go ahead and use live sprite set animation, and let's go ahead and use the initial one, which is 3. So it's going to be, if I use my left curly brace, cards heart 3, semicolon, hit reset, hit run. Did I spell it wrong? Set lives sprite dot set animation. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that scale down a little bit. So live sprite dot scale. Let's make it, I don't know, a fourth of the size. So 25%. I think I spelled it wrong again. Yep, lowercase p. And now we have there. Okay, so now lives is 3. I mean, you can make 3 actual sprites if you want, and then, set the sprites down if you like. So I'm going to actually make this 375 or something. I mean, you can simply use a number too. Like if you decide that you just want to use a number, you can use a number as well. If you want to make it look fancy, you can do what I'm doing right now and show lives. Actually, I think that's probably better. I haven't decided yet. So let's go ahead and make a variable called lives and set it equal to 3 when the game starts. Okay. And so now we got this animation and we have the sprite. So we could even put lives here if we want, instead of doing like this actual like sprite, you can just put lives. It's up to you. Um, so let's say that what happens when do you want lives to go down? Okay, that's something you got to discuss and think about when you make your game. And basically, it's every single time the player collides with the obstacle. So this is what happens when the obstacle collides with the player. Reset and lower your lives. So here is when we would lower lives. So if the score goes down by 5, lives should decrease by 1. Okay. So now if you hit reset and hit run, you're not going to see any changes even though lives is getting lower. So if you want to see and track what lives is happening to lives, you copy this and paste it here in the little watch window. And you can see that every time I hit the meteorite, my lives go down by 1. Okay. So if this is the only way you lose lives, this is also when you should update the sprite, right? So if my sprite goes down by 1, I should change to heart. So I'm just going to make another function right here. And I'm just going to call it update lives. So it just kind of sets the animation for us. So if, right, lives is equal to 2, okay, set animation. So live sprite dot set animation card 2. And if I'm gonna copy and paste that again, control copy. If lives is equal to 1, I'm gonna put else if lives is equal to 1. I'm gonna use a different animation. So it's gonna be like that. And I guess we had to find a animation for death. So if you're less than 0, actually we'll take care of that somewhere else. So that should be good. And let's go ahead and call this function inside of here. So every time we lose lives, we're going to update lives. So we're just going to call this function that we just created. Okay. So now I think if we get hit, you see that the lives go down based on this. Except what happens when your life goes below 0, like below 1, like over here. So this comes back to a lot of your questions about how to make a death screen. Okay, so we have this function here that if level is equal to 1, if level equals to 2, blah, 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 draw a different background. So we actually, what we want to do is create a background that we're going to draw. Um, Actually, I don't even think we want to do this. I take that back. Let's leave this background. So basically all this happens, right? Draw background, stat display, control player, obstacle collide, bottom, draw sprite. This only happens if the game is still going. If the game is over, we should do something else. So we're going to say if lives is greater than 0, go ahead and do all these things. Draw the background, draw the stat display, control the player, check if the obstacle collided with the player, reset it if the obstacle hit the bottom of the floor, draw all the sprites, right? So basically I'm putting all this code inside this, only if lives is greater than 0. But if it's not, meaning else, we're just gonna have a simple game over screen. Okay. So I don't know, I'm just gonna do a text box. So just go text. And again, the text function, if you look at the where is the text function? It's probably under drawing. Okay. So text draws a string where you want it and what you want to write. So they just put a simple game over. So you can make a more fancy one if you want, but I'm just going to do game over, and I'm going to put it, I don't know, somewhere in the center. I can adjust it a little bit later. I'll maybe go text size a little bit different here. Let's go text size, I don't know, something big like 48. Okay, it's probably going to be off. It's probably going to be off center right here. But now you can see what happens when the game is, I'm losing lives, and now what happened? It says game over. Okay, so game over should be like, I don't know, more to the left. So let's go ahead and make that, I don't know, 50. And let's try it now. So I'm getting hit, and I get hit, and the game is over. And the game pauses and stops. I can't control it anymore because I no longer what? My lives has reached 0. So I'm not going to do any of this anymore. All I'm doing is just this. So nothing's happening in the draw loop besides game over, text, game over, text. Um, let's center it a little bit more. Okay. And let's see if this kind of looks the way we want it. And voila, game over. Okay. And it basically doesn't let you do anything else. You can't move your player, you can't do anything. And that's simple, right? Just a quick if statement. If your lives is above 0, keep doing all of this. If your lives is not above 0, meaning 0 or lower, it's going to say game over. Okay? And that's it. So this is how you draw background colors. This is how you make a game over screen. Now you can make, of course, you can make a more fancy game over screen if you want. Um, this is how you update lives, how you make lives go down. Um, we made a little function right here to kind of make the live show, a different sprite, when it goes down. You could, like I said, make like hearts or something, like 3 hearts, 2 hearts, 1 heart, whatever you want. This is just what I decided to do to make it quick. And that kind of ends our video. So basically in this video, we added lives, we added a display for lives, we added a little sprite for lives. We told you how to decrease lives. We told you how to make a game over screen, and that pretty much finishes our video. So I'm basically going to update this code inside of our code for game features so that you can use it if this is the code you want in terms of how to make lives and things like that. Okay. All right. And I'll see you guys next time, and keep working on your games.